What's going on, guys? It's Ace here, weekly NFL picks. And before we get into unlucky week 13, we're going to go over how I did in week 12. It wasn't as good as the week prior, but I did okay. We'll start with the Thanksgiving Day matchups. We had the Vikings at the Lions, and I thought the Vikings would try to bounce back and try to take the North, but the Detroit Lions are really looking like they're going to jump ahead now. Now, they only have a one-game lead, so there's time for the Vikings to bounce back, but they started strong, and they really have looked pretty weak since then, and that's kind of unfortunate because I was looking forward to a good Viking season. But the Redskins fell to the Cowboys as expected. Redskins put up a good fight, but the Cowboys didn't ever look like they really had that game out of control or anything. So they keep on rolling, 10 straight for the Cowboys. The Steelers, they manhandled my Colts. Not much to say about that game. Backup QB in, just wasn't a terrific game overall. Now, we held the Steelers to 28 points, which is probably the best we've done against the Steelers in the last two or three matchups against the Steelers. So we'll find some good to make of that loss. The Chargers, they beat the Texans. I didn't think they would. I've been counting on the Chargers too long in these picks. They keep letting me down, so I picked against them, and they finally win. That's just how life works. I'm glad the Texans lost. That's good for the Colts. Maybe we have a shot at playoffs. Who knows? Either way, those teams are going to be bad to watch in the playoffs. The 49ers and the Dolphins, the 49ers, they dropped their 10th straight, I believe. I think they won in week one. They're pretty much the polar opposite of the Cowboys right now, and it's just getting bad over there. But they almost beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins on somewhat of a roll to be at 7-4 right now. I still swear they are not a good team. They keep finding ways to win. Here's why I say they're not a good team. Overtime with the Cleveland Browns and a near loss 49ers. The 49ers were driving at the end. They couldn't make it happen. Kaepernick's hair was weighing him down, and he got tackled at the one or whatever, and the game was over. So, the Rams and the Saints, we're going to move on to that one now. The Saints, wow, what a high-powered offense against a pretty good Rams defense. They put up 49 points. Drew Brees is incredible, and he's just going to continue to roll. So, good for the Saints, bad for the Rams. The Rams, they're just looking like another Rams season. They can win every now and then. They can look good sometimes, but overall, they're going to be pretty bad. Now, the Giants, they did struggle with the Browns a little bit, but not all that much. I don't know. The commentators seem to think that the Browns showed a lot of promise in this game, showed that they'd be capable of picking up a win further in the season, and we'll see how that goes. But the Giants win, and they go 8-3 right now, and they are not too far behind the Cowboys. So the Cowboys have to keep winning, or they might not win that division. Cardinals and Falcons. The Cardinals, they are not the team we're used to them being, and the Falcons, they're starting to take off a little bit. 7-4, not as good a record as they really should have right now. I'm not saying they got screwed out of victories except for against the Seahawks, but they're a pretty good team, and I think they're a little better than 7-4, and they'll most likely win the NFC South. The Bengals at the Ravens. The Ravens beat the Bengals in a close one. The Ravens aren't that great, but they're heading up the North right now, or the AFC North. And the Bengals, another one of those teams that you kind of expected to be good, kind of like the Cardinals. They have fallen out since they lost their offensive coordinator, who is now coaching those terrible, terrible Cleveland Browns. But yeah, anyway, the Jaguars and the Bills, we're going to move to the next matchup here. It was a close one, man. I didn't think this one would be that close. The Bills struggled a lot, but in the end, my boy Tyrod Taylor pulled out the victory, and the Bills beat the Jaguars. The Bills kind of staying in that wild card hunt in the AFC. The Titans and the Bears. Boy, did the Titans struggle against the Bears. They looked good for a little while with their kind of high-powered offense going on, and in this game, kind of struggled. But they picked up the win, 6-6. They're still in the race for that, for the AFC South. The Bears, they're the only team that's out of the race for the AFC North, or the NFC North, sorry. And the Seahawks, boy, I got this one wrong. Who wouldn't have gotten this one wrong? The Seahawks looked like they were on a roll. They looked like they were going to be one of the best teams in the league right now. And they only put up 5 points. I mean, that is an ugly-looking score when you have 5 points in a game versus the Buccaneers, 14. Jameis Winston did a great job. That whole team did a great job of not being too intimidated by the Seahawks. Another team that wasn't too intimidated was the New York Jets. They came in and they really played the Patriots, and they could have very well beaten the Patriots if the Patriots had made one mistake on that final drive or something. So the Jets, they're not a great team. I think this shows more than anything that the Patriots are a very vulnerable team. I don't know if they came in sleepy or if they were underestimating the Jets, or if they're really just not as good as we might think they are. I don't know. We'll see in the coming weeks, I suppose. But the Patriots, they tend to win a lot of games. And then we have the Panthers at the Raiders. The Raiders end up winning it 35-32. The Panthers, it's a real shame. They've been on the in a couple of games this year that they very well could have won, and that's the reason for their record and probably the reason they won't make the playoffs. The Raiders, on the other hand, they've been on the winning side of a lot of games that they could have lost, so I'm interested to see what happens. I still don't think they have that division cleanly. This next team here, the Chiefs, I called this one wrong, but they are a good team. The Chiefs are very good. They're 8-3 right now. Denver is a very good team, and that AFC West is probably the most exciting division in the AFC right now. And the Broncos, they dropped that one in overtime. Terrible call by Kubiak to go for a 62-yard field goal. It wasn't going to happen. The Chiefs hit that crazy field goal where it bounced off the goalpost in overtime. That was fun to watch, and they won it. Called it wrong, but they won it, and they're a good team, so I'll admit defeat there. And then the Packers, they manhandled the Eagles. The Eagles really not as good as I thought they were, and I think I'm starting to give up on them a little bit. But the Packers, they're trying to fight for that NFC North. Even though their defense sucks, they're going to try to make a run at it. And that's pretty much the week, guys. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wrong. 6 wrong, I believe, yeah. So, kind of an okay week, not terrible. Two more things that happened that week. The Virginia Tech Hokies beat the Cavaliers, of course. And then, if you guys did not watch the Grey Cup, which you probably didn't, that's the Canadian Football League Super Bowl. It was fantastic. I know a lot of people make fun of me for liking the CFL, but it was a heck of a game, and the Red Blacks, who I've established as my favorite CFL team, won their first Grey Cup. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it was fun to watch. So if you guys want to watch a fun little game, go look up the highlights to that on YouTube somewhere. Let's get into Week 13. I know this is kind of a long video because I keep on rambling, so I'll try not to take too long with these picks. The Cowboys going to beat the Vikings because I don't believe in Minnesota anymore, even though they're going to be in that tough place to win, that new Minnesota stadium. The Broncos and the Jaguars, Broncos are going to handle them no problem. They need a bounce-back win after losing to the Chiefs, and it finally loads in my pick. The Lions and the Saints, this one could go either way. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick an upset here in the Voodoo Dome. I think the Saints can beat the Lions. The Lions kind of on a roll. They have a lot to fight for, so I think that'll be a good game. The Texans and Packers, yeah, I'm done picking for the Texans. They very well could beat the Packers, but I think the Packers are really in that backs against the wall kind of scenario right now where they just need to win, so they're going to try to. The Rams and the Patriots. Rams will put up a good fight. They usually do, but the Patriots will probably win that. Chiefs and Falcons. This could be a heck of a game. I think the Chiefs just don't have enough going on offensively to catch up with Matt Ryan and the Falcons, so I'm going to go with the Falcons in Atlanta. The Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go with Baltimore here. I think it's about time the Dolphins lose something. The 49ers and the Bears, the battle of the bad teams. Both are going to go in thinking, oh, maybe we can pick up a win. We haven't had many this year. And system update. Timeout. Okay. 49ers versus Bears. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Chicago Bears. I think they are the better team, and I don't like Kaepernick's hair. All right, Philadelphia Eagles and Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to win that one. The Bills and the Raiders. If I was feeling crazy this week, I'd go ahead and pick the Bills. I think the Raiders are probably going to go ahead and win it, but mark my words, if the Bills win it, I saw it coming. The Redskins and the Cardinals. I'm going to pick the Redskins here, perhaps, if I don't click the link. There we go. I'm going to pick the Redskins to beat the Cardinals. I think they're capable of it. They might not. Depends on which Redskins and which Cardinals show up. And then we have the Buccaneers and the Chargers. The Buccaneers are looking pretty good. And they rolled over Seattle, so why not? Let's go with Jameis and the Bucks. The Giants. By the way, the Bucks are kind of in the race for that NFC South, so keep an eye on them. The Giants and the Steelers. Pittsburgh could win this. Giants really do. I don't know. It's kind of a must-win game for both of them to try to stay in their division's lead. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Giants. The Panthers and the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to take it because they want to pull ahead in that division. The Colts and the Jets. Who knows, man? I'm going with the Colts as always, but, they tend to be pretty bad sometimes. But those are my picks for this week, guys. I guess we'll come back next week and see how I did. And you guys, let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these picks, and let me know if you watch the CFL like I do. Next time, peace.